Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming to watch. I've got an update for you guys on your storm that is beginning to move out of the northeast. We'll shortly be moving into Maine, dropping a few inches of snow to Maine, and then you have thunderstorms down here in the south. Feel free to write in the comments if you're seeing any of this weather. And even if you're just seeing any weather from the storm, just definitely feel free to write in the comments what you are seeing. I'd love to know and figure out, what's happening in each place, and pretty much what's going to be happening for the next few hours. So we have a lot to talk about. We're going to look at a few different models. We're going to look at the FV3, which is kind of our radar type, and then we have the GFS for our snowfall, our big week ahead, and then the timing for these big snowstorms that could possibly impact a lot of these areas along the East Coast. So we're going to dive into our updates, starting with our alerts. Let me just pull these up. And you can see the alerts from our system here in the Great Lakes has been pulled down just because our storm has now moved on and is shortly going to be moving into Canada. So you don't have any alerts from this system. So the only alerts you have is this big wind chill watch, I believe. This is a wind chill advisory. So you can see that this goes out for all of North Dakota, most of Montana, pretty much most of Minnesota. This goes for a lot of Nebraska, pretty much half the eastern half of South Dakota. This goes for northwest Iowa and western Kansas. This also does go for the panhandle of Oklahoma and the counties of northern Texas. So it's a widespread area because your cold air is just diving down. There's a huge dip in the jet stream that's going to be staying here for a few days, and then it will slowly rise back, causing a lot of tension in these areas with the weather. So there could be a lot of major storms, not only bringing heavy snow, but possibly even heavy rain. When we take a look at the radar, not the radar, but the GFS model, a lot of rain could move into Pennsylvania, New York City, and New Jersey. So we'll take a look at that later. But that's pretty much it for the most part. You have some flood warnings down here in Louisiana, Mississippi. You have some flood warnings as well. A lot of flood watches out in effect. This will be in effect until probably 9 p.m. I'd have to look at the what the actual alert says from the National Weather Service, but this will definitely be out for most of the day as your storms move through the southeast. But that's pretty much it for the southeast in terms of weather. So we'll head to your radar, and you can see that as I put this to where we are now, which would be 11. Well, right now it's 11:30. So how about we put this to 11, and you could see that you have a lot of heavy rainfall moving into Louisiana, Mississippi, and not quite in Alabama. You guys are gonna have to wait until later in the day. But that does mean that these storms could be a little bit stronger because the warmer temperatures are in place. So you can see that they strengthen a little bit as they move into southern Alabama. So you guys living in southern Alabama, just watch out. You could have some gusty thunderstorms with these storms. These will also move into southern Georgia with very heavy rainfall. South Carolina, same thing. North Carolina, both in that very heavy rainfall. And this just continues throughout the day, giving Florida a drenching downpour. And this finally moves out, but just watch for these storms that are just going to be pouring a lot of rain on the whole southeast. So It's going to be a pretty rainy and stormy day for you guys in the southeast, and I wouldn't really look for clearing until, I guess you're talking midday tomorrow. But that's actually where the beginning of your new storm will form, and then you have some snow showing up here in northwest Arkansas, southern Missouri, northwest Oklahoma, and southeast Kansas. But we're gonna leave that to the last part of the video, which is going to be our GFS model, and that will be taken care of later. When we take a look at our rainfall amounts, this is the 1 to 3 day outlook. So this also, you could say that this kind of includes some of the other storms' rainfall, but I'm just gonna count this as what to expect from these storms that have been moving through. But it's gonna rain a lot. Look at this heavy band of rain that's going to move through the border between Louisiana and Mississippi. This is looking like it could dump 3, 4, maybe even 5 inches of rain. So extreme rainfall could happen with these storms. And you see, you got 1.25 inches here in South Carolina. Again, this is the 1 to 3 day outlook for precipitation. But this is a lot of rain, and this also goes for almost all of eastern Texas in this 1 to 2 inches of rain. So I would say for the areas that are being impacted the most by these storms, I would expect up to 3 inches of rain from the system. So East Texas, you guys should look for 1 to 2.5 inches of rain. Louisiana, you guys in central Louisiana, look for 2 to 4 inches of rain, and then eastern Louisiana and western Mississippi, you guys, southwestern Mississippi, you guys look for 3 to 4.5 inches of rain. Georgia, you guys look for 2 to 4 inches of rain. South Carolina, I would say southern South Carolina, you guys could see up to 2.5 inches of rain. And then Florida, North Florida, you guys could see up to 1.5 inches of rain in this little tiny area of heavy rainfall. So that's pretty much it for your rainfall amounts. And we'll head to the northeast. Let's see, we are going to put this to 11 a.m. So you can see that right now you're having some snow falling in Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, and the upstate regions of New York. Now, any farther south than kind of this line here is really pretty much where you have warm enough temperatures to cause just rainfall and no snow. So even this is talking Buffalo for you guys. I mean, you could probably see more rainfall than snowfall from the system. I know on the front side of this, when this first came through, overnight we had some heavy snowfall in the Buffalo area. But on the back side of this, you're going to have mostly rain. So some snow melt could be occurring in the Buffalo area as you're having a bit of freezing rain that is moving through. But that's pretty much it. None of this rain will get heavy as this moves through New York City, New Jersey, Trenton, New Jersey, Massachusetts. So, I mean, all these areas along the eastern coast really aren't going to get that much heavy rain. And then this really just becomes some scattered thunderstorms once it moves into the Atlantic. So you shouldn't see much action with this rainfall pretty much until this moves into the Atlantic again. Like I said, this will not be impacting any areas, so just a pretty cloudy and drizzly day for all of the Northeast. And then Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont in that snowy day as well. So that's going to be it for the Northeast. And then we'll be taking a look at our snowfall totals. We're going to go state by state. We're starting out with Illinois. Topping off, you guys should top off at about an inch. So, eastern Illinois, you guys could see a coating to an inch of snowfall. Indiana, pretty much the whole state is in this little coating of snow. So, any of you living in Indiana, look for up to an inch of snow. Ohio, a bit more. You could have up to 2 inches of snow. This would go for north central Ohio to eastern Ohio. Pennsylvania, northwest Pennsylvania, you guys could top off at about 3 inches of snow. But any farther east than, I guess, the half of western and eastern Pennsylvania, I would say that is pretty much where you wouldn't be seeing that much snow. Although if you are living on the northern border of Pennsylvania and New York State, you could see up to maybe even 2 inches of snow. Even if you are in these areas closer to New Jersey. So just keep an eye out for that snowfall in Pennsylvania. Upstate New York, you're topping off at 7 inches of snow. This goes for the regions way upstate. This goes for pretty much like border between Canada and New York, and then Maine topping off at 5 inches of snow. I think we had 5 inches of snow for Maine. Vermont, New Hampshire, looks like it's gonna be 1 to 2 inches for you guys, but that's pretty much it for the snowfall totals. So pretty interesting to see. Again, write in the comments if you're seeing any of the snow, and if you want to, go outside, measure your snowfall, and then come back in and write down in the comments what you guys measured. But that's pretty much it for the snowfall totals. And then that brings us to the last section of our update, which is going to be the latest GFS model for our big storms ahead. You can see you have your storms moving through in the south. Here comes another system. This one's your next one, bringing some snow to Kentucky, West Virginia, and then that moves out. So a little bit of a more southerly snowstorm for you guys. Then you got kind of a little rainstorm that kind of just oozes around out there, bringing some central Texas, east central Texas, getting some rainfall. This could get heavy as this moves into Louisiana, then Mississippi. And it could re-intensify and then moves out. But a lot of attention here in the southeast, and not as more attention in the northeast. This system could kind of move out your rain. So we're talking about your rainstorm in the southeast. So it's going to move like this, and then kind of ooze around here again. But then it takes a little up track north, and could kind of cut through the eastern seaboard. So that's bringing some snow to possibly New York City, Boston, Rhode Island, Connecticut, all you guys in some possible snowfall. We're going to leave the timing and energy to the last part of the update as usual. You get another Clipper-like system that could impact Maine with a few inches of snow, so watch out for that one. Here comes another system looking like a pretty good ice storm for northern Indiana, northern Illinois, also giving some snow to northern Illinois, but mostly northern Missouri. So that moves out, bringing a very big ice storm to the northeast. This goes for upstate New York, this goes for Vermont, New Hampshire, and southern Maine. You could also see in northwest Massachusetts, you could see some of that ice too. But that moves out. That could also bring freezing rain. And that's pretty much it. But around the 13th, you could get another system that delivers some ice to Iowa, Nebraska, Colorado, and then that will also bring some snow and ice to Minnesota and Wisconsin. But that's the end of the model run. So we're just going to skip it to our energy and our wind. So you can see your first storm coming through. Well, let me get this on track. So you're at the 29th today. Okay, so here comes your first system, and it's pretty much right in here. As you can see, you have a little bit darker energy showing up here. When I say that, I mean a little bit more intense energy. That kind of states where the storm is. And so that moves out, and you get another system brewing just south of California, and that starts moving into the southeast. This could also be a rainstorm. Yeah, this is your rainstorm that will be moving in the southeast. Look at South Carolina getting very intense precipitation showing up here on the GFS. So a lot of rainfall from this system, and then this would be around February 3rd. So in like 5 days, you could see this storm impacting, maybe a little less, like 4 days. And then it starts your uptrack north. This is your snow moving into major cities along the eastern seaboard, and then that moves out. Here comes your ice storm that's impacting Missouri and Illinois. This would be impacting around February the 8th. That moves out, bringing the northeast another pretty good snowstorm and ice storm. And look at all this energy here in the major cities along the I-95 corridor. So Trenton, New Jersey, New York City, Boston, and pretty much just the whole eastern coast. So a lot of major snowstorms could move through. That one's around the 10th of February. You got another system that's brewing down here, but that's too far out. We don't have any model run time left. But that's going to wrap up the update. If you haven't already, like, share, comment, subscribe if you're not subscribed to my channel. But thank you so much for watching. We're going to hopefully hit 90 subscribers by the end of today. So if any of you aren't subscribed and you've consistently been watching my videos, feel free to subscribe, and who knows, maybe you'll be my 90th subscriber. But thank you for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next update. So we'll see you guys.